You know what? Sponsored by Fashion Nova told me everything I needed to know about this show. I have never sat down and watched an entire episode of Pop the Balloon, but when I heard it was coming to Netflix with Yvonne Orji as the host, that's Molly from Insecure, of course, decided to go and like take a quick gander at the Pop the Balloons from before. Is so long. This might go on for a little while. I'm just gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get a snack real quick. Real fast.
2 hours later.
Okay. Just got me a little mozzarella stick real quick. Yo, this intro is still going? Ah! Okay, that's actually kind of satisfying.
If you're gonna judge me because my second baby daddy didn't work out for me, then I'm not for you.
Too much weave. Toes hanging off the shoes for me.
All I can do is be honest.
Yeah, be honest. Be your authentic self. That's okay.
To find a match that wasn't matching.
Felt like the shirt was like really, really tight. Like
you know what's crazy about that? So I ordered a shirt online.
Okay.
And I ordered a large, right?
Okay.
So when I got the shirt, it was already too late for me to turn it back.
I got it.
So it was already too late.
Okay, you know what? I will say, at least these are real people. Like, they seem to be authentic. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody on here that's an influencer, but they are themselves. That is what I can say. They are themselves.
Great gowns, beautiful gowns.
BM Pro Media, that is the host, Arlette, and her husband's production company, their video company, Videography. And I guess they produced the show prior to it going to Netflix, and they're also executive producers on the Netflix show. So in that way, like, that's cool that a content creator has like popped up and had a really successful iteration of this, and then it goes and gets, some major money behind it. And then apparently they're still able to do their weekly drops of the show on their channel.
Every Wednesday, okay, Pop the Balloon Wednesday is still a thing. Make sure you're tuning in. I will still be hosting, just like he said. It's going to be the same, producing. Everything is going to remain the same. The only thing is just we have another addition to, the things that we're working on, which is working with Netflix. But
I think where I'm a little perplexed after watching and after kind of taking it all in is it's just like an hour's worth of very awkward experience, cringy responses. The conversations don't seem natural or organic, and it's not a natural situation, so I can't blame them for that. But I guess I struggled to stay connected with it. It's awkward. There's no music. There's no flourish. It's a white wall. It just kind of exposes people. And I think that's part of it, is that exposing and that being out in the open seems to be entertaining for folks, except for if it's you, right? Like, I would never want a camera shoved in my face if I was trying to connect or find a date or be in a relationship. But I think that maybe from a viewer standpoint, it's incredibly entertaining because it's not happening to you, right? It's that concept of Schadenfreude, like somebody else is experiencing it.
Schadenfreude is when you get enjoyment out of somebody else's mishap. Often also used if maybe the other person did you wrong before, so you're like, you get what you deserve.
Part of the reason I was getting the ick from the whole experience and the whole thing is just because embarrassment seems to be the new entertainment. We have seen the likes of Maury and Jerry Springer and Ricky Lake and Oprah. Like, we've seen these kind of salacious talk shows, especially in the heyday of the 90s, where people were embarrassed on television or embarrassed in front of a studio audience for our entertainment. So this is not to say that this is a new thing, but from a participant perspective, I feel like I can't tell if the guests and the contestants, I don't even know what you call them, if they're genuinely like, I'm gonna find somebody on this show, or I could find somebody, or if it truly is all about, clout chasing and visibility. Of course, I'm sure there are people on the show, and if you have been on the show, please comment down below. Please let me know the truth of this. You might actually legitimately be trying to find a relationship. But the culture, this society and culture, is so warped in how they see people's value and worth that putting myself, if I was somebody who was signing up for this, putting myself in that position for potentially more followers, more visibility, and or for looking for love is a real big gamble. Like, relationships are already difficult, and then you add this on top of it where hundreds of thousands of people are watching you like fail at conversation or be roasted by a man or a woman who doesn't like your style or how you put things together. It doesn't make sense to me.
What's your name?
My name is Uche.
Uche, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay.
But then again, I mean, what does make sense about our current culture's like perspective of relationship and of love? We are so indoctrinated in this idea of test driving before we buy, and this idea that, you know, what's on the outside is really what matters, that we don't even think about the longevity of a relationship starting on a social media platform.
Okay, now what in that, Johnny? John! Johnny! I don't know if you realize this show was about finding love, okay? That's what it was about.
People are frustrated by the new Pop the Balloon already. And I've seen some of the backlash happening. I was kind of like in or out about doing this video because part of it was like, okay, I don't care, right, about some dating show, but I do care about the implications on the culture. I'm kind of curious, like, what does that mean for the rest of us? When I saw that Yvonne Orji, who is, you know, in her own admission, a self-proclaimed virgin. I think she's in her like late 30s, early 40s. I want to say 40. And she's talked about at length how she is keeping herself until marriage. But then she plays a role on Insecure as Molly's got quite a few, you know, sex scenes and quite a few moments where she's exposed in some way. And I don't know if she used a body double or how that all worked, but like, it's interesting to have someone like herself who's hosting this dating show.
Being a virgin is not the best thing about me, so I don't lead with that. Nor am I insulting whoever I'm talking to make them think that all I think that they want is one thing. And then it's just like, oh, by the way, I just want to let you know this is a personal decision that I've made, and I'm really happy with it.
But the thing that I see as critique over and over again is that it loses the authenticity that our Let's Show, the YouTube version, actually has. And again, this word, authenticity, this idea of being real and raw, like in some way, both of these social experiments, any of these types of social experiments are not going to be real, just like a lot of times when we go on our first date, you know, we sending out the representative. We're not necessarily showing up as ourselves all the time. So I understand there's a social engineering happening.
Physical type, which is black.
Johnny, how old are you?
I'm black from the waist up.
Okay.
Pop my balloon because I like my man black from the waist down.
Johnny,
6.5 to 7. 6.5 to 7.
I watched that first episode and I said, did anybody consider that this was going to be a live show and that there are some best practices and some rules of the road when it comes to live shows?
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
I couldn't even make it through it. Like, I'm going to be honest. I kind of hopped out. I kind of skimmed through. I scanned through it. I borrowed my sister's Netflix so I could watch it. Like, it was bad. Like bad. Like, improv show with the worst improvisers you've ever seen bad. Like, I actually felt pity for the producers and the creators and for Yvonne for stepping into this. And then you got the full finesse of Arlette still dropping weekly drops. Her and her husband are getting that attention of the commenters that are like, thank God this stayed real and thank God that you guys didn't sell out. I did watch episode 2 of Pop the Balloon, which streamed this past week, and it seems to have improved a lot. It seems like they took the criticism and the critiques very seriously and tried to make it a little bit more refined, make sure that nobody was talking over each other, nobody was saying things out of pocket, and it seemed to have a little bit better of a flow. And I'm sure they'll get better as time goes on. But that highly produced fakery and the reality star looks and the everybody's attractive and no one is, normal or like, it doesn't come across as genuine to me. And I think for the show to have any kind of heart, I think for us to have any kind of heart in watching is that it has to ground itself in a real conversation. And I feel like Pop the Balloon as a concept, how are we popping the balloon with people and with opportunities in our real life because we have no patience, no grace, no understanding of our fellow person? To me, feels like we've lost a sense of humanity when we can get on a dating show and say, you know, you are not worth the air that this balloon was blown up with. Like, which by the way, I blew up all these balloons like a week ago and they just been sitting about. You know how hard it is to take meetings with a bunch of red balloons behind you? Like, people are just like, what's going on over there? what kind of experience and lifestyle are you having? But we have lost just the plot when it comes to what relationships actually take to sustain. I think it's a cutesy, fun concept. And if you're entertained by it, tell me why. Tell me why in the comments. But if I could encourage you in anything, do not pop the balloon in your life in relationships. Do not allow this media circus that we have created around hypervisibility, fakery, phoniness, and calling it authenticity. Don't let that become how you live your life. I came on today, no makeup, the hair is just thrown up, because part of what I was thinking is like, when you have a platform or you're an influencer, that these things determine your value. They don't. Right? The number of followers you have doesn't determine your value. And I know I sound like kind of like an after school special saying that, but I think we're forgetting. That clout and social media followers means nothing for your character and your heart, for who you are as a person. I want to encourage us as we consume. I don't know why you would consume this. It's boring. I'm not interested. It's not a fun show. I probably will never watch this stuff again. But if this is your bag, if this is something you're into, I would just ask you to consider how laughing at and watching other people fail or watching other people make fools of themselves, how does that feed you as a person? What does it do to your brain and the way you think about others? I would be curious, because maybe it's not affecting you at all. Maybe you are still seeing people for who they are and they're beautiful on the inside, and you're not letting the stuff you're taking in change that. But I would be curious. I would challenge you to examine it. Does it make you look at people who wear different jewelries or dress in a style that you don't like? Does it make you judge them harshly? Does it make you look down on someone who's dressed a certain way or who says that they want somebody taller or short? Like, how do you judge well when you're being told to pop the balloon on something at first glance? That whole idea of not judging a book by its cover, it's kind of long gone these days. And I think even when I consider my own perspective of all of this and I kind of deep dive to research for this video, I found myself coming out very empty. I gained nothing from watching these shows. And I suppose that not everything needs to be like a gaining experience, but you guys know I don't like watching stuff that don't feed me. I'm like, life is too short. Time is too crazy, right? Adulthood is adulting. I don't have time to waste on stuff that is going to kind of drown me on the inside. So if this video was interesting to you, I would love if you would let me know your comments down in the conversation below in the comments.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
If you disagree with me, I want to hear that too. And tell me why. Tell me a little bit more. Maybe you can stretch my perspective and I can help expand yours. Of course, you can always join the Patreon. I'm starting to have the Patreon be like an open forum, right? So you can support the channel, but also I would love to have more conversation over there. So make sure that you join if you are interested in that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye now. Okay, this is the longest intro to anything ever. What is happening? Why is it in slow-mo? Why is it so uncomfortable? What's going on? It's so awkward. This is so awkward.